Hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Alyssa and today I have an update for my Expand Those Pans Project Pan. Expand Those Pans is a project where I roll in 3 eyeshadows at a time that have already pan showing in them. I use them 10 more times and then we, get to see the before and after. And this project was actually started by Dora, who is Fuchsia Soul here on YouTube. And even though she's not doing it currently, I will go ahead and link her channel. I usually do a card, and then I believe I also have her in the description box. There are also other people who do this, so you can look at the hashtag for Expand Those Pans and see other people who are doing it. So this last round was kind of interesting. I don't know if I was the most excited about the shadows I got. I will say the first one that rolled in was very easy to roll out. So we're gonna go ahead and just get right into this. All right, so the first eyeshadow was a pastel, and pastels are really easy for me to roll out because I can use them as an inner corner, I can use them on the brow bone, just a pop of color somewhere, and even if it doesn't necessarily go along with the look, so like today I have a warm tone look, so yellow, orange, pink would all work really well. But even if it was like a pastel blue or green, I could still have it as just like a contrasting pop of color. So, that kind of works really well for me no matter what. I think part of it is that because it's pastel, like there's a color to it, but it's not as strong of a color as if I went, with a regular full-on color eyeshadow. So anyway, the 10 uses, let's see. Yeah, it was basically I used it from when it rolled in every day and then it rolled out. So there's probably gonna be some, expansion, but if I'm mostly using it as an inner corner, maybe a little bit to lighten something up, it's not, gonna go that fast. All right, the next eyeshadow that I rolled out of this is not actually done, but it's kind of done. Okay, so it is in my Stone Vibes palette. And so my Stone Vibes palette, I have been doing a pan that palette with this, and I believe this video will go up after this update, so maybe it's not a huge spoiler, but I am done using the eyeshadows in here. So the eyeshadow that rolled in, I used it 5 times, and I go into more detail about why I stopped with this palette, but part of it was I think I'm getting sort of like a reaction maybe with the shadows. My eyes do like to water, but it felt like it was happening every time I would use this palette, and not every time I'd use other eyeshadows that I was wearing at the same time, that kind of thing. And the ones that are left in here are not the favorites. So why not go ahead and call it done? There still should be a nice little progress for you even in 5 uses, but sorry, it's just out of my collection now. Okay, the final shadow, I just finished with it today. I do technically have it in my outer corners, although it is covered up so it is a purple from my Vivid Pigments palette, and I'm kind of trying to work my way through these eyeshadows a bit to see which ones are still good and which aren't, because there was an orange that I decluttered from it that just wasn't working well, and this purple, it's also getting decluttered. I've just found that, well, one, it might also be making my eyes water. It's another shadow that might be doing that. Also, when I use it, it's a dark shadow, so I am often wanting to kind of pack it on and layer it with other shadows to deepen up a look, and I can't do it very well. Like, I was using it with another shadow from the same palette. So, it's one thing if you have an eyeshadow formula that doesn't get along with a different eyeshadow formula, but they're from the same palette, so they really should go together. And I've had that kind of issue with some of the shades before in this palette, so I'm trying to narrow it down and just have, what I actually enjoy, after using all my shadows different times. So I did use it the 10 times, but I'm calling it done, that, I'm not going to have it in my collection, that it was just, so I don't know if I said, basically I was trying to pack it on and it was just, then I'd blend a little and then just patches away. Like there'd be some of it there, then like a little hole in the middle. And I'm like, that's terrible. So I ended up using a different dark purple, actually a shimmer, but when I kind of blend it and put another matte with it, it made it look like a matte. So I'm like, well, if I have that shadow and it's doing the same kind of purpose that this one would do better, then I'm just gonna get rid of the one that's not performing as well. So again, you will see, you know, some progress, I think, you know, with the 10 uses, but yeah, I'm like 2 of the 3 shadows are now gone from my collection. So, you know, in a way though, I feel like doing project panning is a way to encourage me to use a variety of my collection and not just let things sit, and then to kind of test things out and see if things aren't working. Like, you know, sometimes I've kind of realized certain blushes are just not for me. I might do something else with them, or you know, just kind of work through, and it's good to actually be using things. And sometimes I have to be reminded to use my favorites as well, but yeah, it kind of, you know, helps me do both. What I've decided, I'm gonna roll in some shades. I've been feeling a little bit like, like, how do I put it? Maybe not the most interested in rolling in shadows in this, but I do want to use ones that have pan. Like I do want the idea of this. And I think part of it is that I also have another project where I'm trying to use all my shadows 10 times. And it feels like, you know, some of the eyeshadows that I've hit pan, and maybe I've already been using them some, and then to have to use another 10 times on top of that sometimes feels like just too much. And I don't want it, you know, to feel like that. Like I do want to be using everything and all that. So I think what I'm going to do is, since I've been marking down for each eyeshadow how much I've been using them just since September, I am going to, you know, if I roll in a shade and I've already used it 2 times for that project, I'm only going to make myself use it up to the 10th use, so 8 more times, and just kind of do that, and it'll make it a little bit less of a, okay, I've got to mark it over here and I've got to mark it over here, and like doing all that, just marking in one spot, you know, and moving on with things. So I think that will also help, because sometimes if I've just hit a pan and, you know, did I just hit the pan and I'd only used like maybe once or twice, then hey, using a little bit more, that's totally fine. But if I had already used it 10 times, I might not wish to use it another 10. So I guess what I'm also saying is, if I roll in a shadow that I've already used 10 times since September, I'm gonna let myself pass on that. Because like I said, my whole thing is I'm just trying to get through all of my shadows and be using them, you know, regardless. So I'm looking through, I think all the ones that are left are good to go. So we'll see, like that, you know, would be fine, because I don't have that many left on my wheel here that haven't been already like rolled into this. So all right, let's find out. All right, for my Dollhouse palette, it is number 6. Good God, which is a JD Glow shadow. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, and this is from that Vivid Pigments palette. This is number 8, but I need to look, because sometimes my numbering is a little weird, but it should be obvious. I only have so many pans in there, so let me see. I mean, I think what I'm gonna do is, if it's not, I don't know, I will pick an eyeshadow that works from that palette, even if I'm like, I don't know, is this 8? Was this, because when I put it in here, like my numbers had gotten funny. So, all right, let me get those. Okay, so as I thought might have happened, okay, well this is upside down, but you know, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So number 8, there's no pan in this shadow. So what I did was I kind of looked through and I'm like, well, of my shadows that do have pan from this palette, I figure like the pink, I'm pretty sure I like this shade, and so I'm less concerned about panning it or kind of doing more with it. And there's not like a ton left, it's pretty thin in here. So for now, I'm gonna hold on that. But then I have these two blues. Oh, I also have the yellow. The yellow I have worked on with things like I don't know. Again, there's not a ton left, and I'm less kind of concerned with it. These blues, though, are more unique in my collection. So is the pink kind of, but like I said, I'm more of a pink fan than blue. So I am using this project right now to encourage myself to use these blues. This blue I had in something I know recently, like this was in something, whereas this blue wasn't. So I am going to have myself use this blue, which then is shade 7, and we're going to see how it goes. So that's what my plan is for that. And then the other two eyeshadows, so we have a gold from my Blend Bunny palette, and this was definitely a more recent pan. And oh, I'm sorry, I wanted to talk about what my uses is actually going to be. What my uses will be for these. So for the blue, I need to use it 5 more times, and so that feels good, like then that I will get to that 10, and we're gonna see how I feel about it. For the dollhouse shade, I actually only have 4 more uses for that. I've already used it 6 times, so that's not going to be a ton, but maybe I can also try to have at least one of the uses be not just like a lash line or something like that, but like more over the lid, cover a little more space. So we'll see. And then for Good God, I only need to use 4 more times actually as well. So this might mean that I'm kind of rotating through shadows a little bit faster with this project. But like I said, maybe that's okay. I can kind of run through and then I can reset the wheel and, go through again, see if like which of these haven't had, 10 yet. And then once they've all had that, I might either decide to put a pause on this project till I hit more pans, or I'm not sure, maybe, I don't know, if you have any thoughts or ideas, what else could I do? Okay, so I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see the updates, maybe you'll subscribe to my channel so you'll get to have them on your subscriptions page. And until my next video, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye!